you're well. I'm going to be talking about body dysmorphic disorder in this video, and I will be defining what it is, doing my best to not ramble, and also to include some of my own my own experience of living with BDD to help further explain the definition. I will be doing a separate video on what it's like to live with BDD and other information about BDD, but this video I just want to say what it is and define what it is and give you some understanding, so you can either help someone that maybe you know that's going through it, or maybe you are suffering from it and need a bit of information to understand. Because sometimes when you first get a diagnosis, you're kind of like, okay, so someone's told me what's wrong with me. They've given me this diagnosis, and now I've just got to work it out. And the thing is, once you've been given that diagnosis, find out as much as you can about it by watching some videos on YouTube. So body dysmorphic disorder, I will go through the definition. Sorry to promote this again, but this book, my brain book, has been really, has been really good, because it just helps me define what everything is. And as we go on this journey together, I'm going to be going into so much more detail about everything. I desperately want to tell you all of it now, but I'm trying to be patient. But what I will say is I want to give you a good definition, a good explanation of what the illness is, so then you're kind of like a little less in the dark maybe, and also to realise that someone else out there has gone through it, which I will be further explaining in this. So what is the definition? Body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, is a mental health problem in which a person is excessively concerned about a perceived defect in his or her appearance, and this preoccupation with body image causes significant distress. So let's break that down. Mental health problem, we've been talking about what mental illness is, what mental health problem is, but it's actually very much linked to, body dysmorphic disorder is very much linked to people who have anxiety, depression, or maybe obsessive compulsive disorder. However, just because you have anxiety, depression or OCD doesn't necessarily mean you'll have a body dysmorphic disorder. Oh, and also if you have an eating disorder as well, you're very much likely to have this. I'd say more often if you have an eating disorder, you're very much likely going to have body dysmorphic disorder, because you will see yourself in a different way to everybody else. And that's essentially what body dysmorphic disorder is. You see yourself very differently, as maybe inferior, as unattractive, as disgusting in comparison to other people. And this is because of being excessively concerned by a perceived flaw. So what does that mean? Excessively, a lot, doing a lot of being concerned. So you'll be focusing on this particular part of your body, or your entire body, or you will be so preoccupied with this particular part of your body that it will cause you significant distress elsewhere. So when I'm talking about perceived defect, is a perceived defect is someone saying that I don't like my nose because it is too big and bulbous and horrible. And then someone saying, oh, your nose is fine, what are you worrying about? So the person with BDD has this perceived, and I say perceived like this because it's in their head. So I have BDD personally, I do, and my perceived defects, I have more than one, but they are things in my parts of my body that I personally hate, that I really see as disgusting and horrible and ugh. Whereas other people may see them as beautiful, okay, mediocre, not really fussed, or beautiful, or whatever. So having that obsession or concern about this defect will then impact on your daily life, causing distress, preventing you from living your life, and preventing you from doing what you would regularly do. Now I'm going to go through a few of my perceived defects, because I just want to, it could be something that you have, or someone that you know. So let's start. So my arms are probably one of my worst parts of my body, if not the worst part of my body. So doing this is very uncomfortable, but I'm going to help you through yours by sharing mine. So this is my arm at its worst. Look at that. My friend used to call that the bye-bye shakies. Bye-bye shakies. So this was a huge thing, and I've deliberately not covered up my arms today to show you this, but personally I would not leave the house with that. I just wouldn't. So my arms is one, my boobs are another. I got picked on at school because of those, which is one of the things that people, you know, they say if you know you are picked on, it could develop into a body dysmorphic disorder. My boobs, my nose, my hair, and my lopsided face. I'm just going to come in close for a second. So my nose, now I personally think it's absolutely massive, and I don't like this bulbousy bit on the end. I've looked into nose jobs and all sorts of things. I'm not going to have one because I probably think I'd be more confused by my appearance if I had a nose job, because I'm so used to how I look. Now, also, I've got a wisdom tooth on this side that's kind of come through, and I don't know if you probably can't see it, but this is my perceived defect, that my face is lopsided, that this side is bigger than that side. My hair has always been an obsession. I'm going to take it out. This has been straightened a bit, but I used to have massive hair, like huge hair, bigger than that, and used to get picked on. Fluffy, come on, get it fluffy. Used to get really picked on because of it, and absolutely hated my hair. And this has caused me more distress than any part of my body for weddings, parties, events. Yeah, and you know, I mean, I used to spend hours blow drying my hair because it was so thick and long, and then someone might then, I think my brother once, I'd just finished blow drying my hair and he came in my room and he threw water all over it, and I was like, because I just was making me an hour or goodness knows what to sort it out. I mean, it's awful going on holiday sometime. Well, not that I've been on holiday for years, but it's awful because you're like, I don't want to get my hair wet because then I've got to style it and go out. And to a lot of people who don't have any experience of body dysmorphic disorder, this could look very self-indulgent and vain, but it's this self-hate. It's that you hate that part of your body so much that it takes over every waking moment of your life. I'm learning to deal with my body dysmorphic disorder better than I had before, but I still have these flaws that I personally absolutely hate about myself. But I'm not saying that so you guys all go, oh, you know, don't, or actually, yeah, you're really ugly and la la la. I don't, you know, personally, these are just my areas that I suffer with, and you may suffer with them yourself. But BDD is not a I love myself illness. It's the complete opposite. You hate how you look. Some days are better than others, but fundamentally you are obsessed with those flaws so much that nothing else really comes into play as far as other thoughts. So we've talked. So hopefully that's given you a really good definition. I just want to go through some of the signs and symptoms. So refusing to be in photographs, trying to hide the flaw with makeup or clothing, constantly checking one's appearance in the mirror, frequently comparing one's appearance to that of others, often seeking reassurance about one's appearance, frequently touching the perceived flaw and picking at the skin to make it smooth or to help, to kind of cover. So there's some of the signs and symptoms. I'll go through some of those again. So refusing to be in photographs, well actually I would do the opposite and overcompensate and go, yeah, I'm going to be in the photo. Because then I wouldn't have to do the, oh, I don't want to be in the photo, and then everyone go, oh, come and be in the photo, you know, all of that stuff. Covering things with makeup, covering clothes. I mean, I used to, obviously, in the summer I hate this bit, so I would cover it up. And yeah, constantly looking in mirrors. Any reflective surface will do, just so you can see, just check, yeah, I'm still ugly. Not that you are, but this is how I would always feel like, yeah, look in the mirror, yeah, it's still fat, still disgusting. I don't feel like that anymore, but I have felt like that very much in the past. Although I am, like I say, I am dealing more with my body dysmorphic disorder now than I ever have. I still have days when it's bad, but on the whole I can manage it. But in addition, a person may feel anxious and self-conscious around other people because of the flaw, and they will avoid. So it's going back to that avoidance thing. So you're feeling like you're not attractive enough, so therefore you cancel on a party or an event just so you don't have to go out with your flaw in public. To be diagnosed with BDD, you really will have to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. If you really think you're struggling with this, if any of this has sound really kind of like, yeah, I really hate that part of my body and actually it takes over a lot of my life, then it could be that you're suffering from it. I'll put some information in the description below for any help or advice that you might need. And yeah, I want to say a couple of statistics before I finish, that some estimate that BDD affects 1% of the population, or 1 out of every 100 people. That's taken from healthresearchfunding.org, a website that I just checked out for statistics for body dysmorphic disorder. For men with body dysmorphic disorder, and they're equally as affected, they may have something. They may feel that their muscles aren't big enough, so they might feel they need to be. They're skinny, or they're too fat, and they need to get their muscle mass, their muscle tone, looking really like buff, And of course, they may be looking already really hot already, but they don't see that. So it's not about saying to someone, oh, your nose isn't big, or your boobs are beautiful, or you don't have the bye-bye shakies in your arm and all of that. It's not about that. That person fundamentally 100% believes that is how they look, and that is how disgusting they are, and that flaw is perceived by everybody. So support them, care for them, be there for them. Don't tell them that it's rubbish, because that's counterproductive. You don't have to say, yes, you are, you are fat, or you are, your nose is big, or whatever like that. Just be there for them. Just be kind, be supportive. How would you want to be spoken to if you were feeling like that? Think about it like that. So I think I've done my best to define what body dysmorphic disorder is. It is a source of anxiety, can be caused by depression or an eating disorder. And it does cause a significant amount of distress in your daily life, because your perceived flaw is taking over. You're so preoccupied with it that it destroys events and destroys even relationships. So I hope that's useful. I hope that you are still finding these videos worthwhile. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.